The COVID-19 pandemic has had a significant impact on the entire food industry. During this video, we will cover what COVID-19 is, how it affects you as a farm worker, how it is spread, and the steps you can take to keep you and those around you safe. These recommendations are geared towards produce farms and packing houses. So what is COVID-19? How is it spread? And what are the symptoms? While COVID-19 is not a foodborne disease, it is a respiratory illness that threatens the health of employees. This virus is spread from person-to-person contact and can easily spread through droplets from a cough or when someone sneezes. Contaminated surfaces may also be a point of transmission. In order to control the spread of COVID-19, it is important to understand the symptoms. People with COVID-19 may show a wide range of symptoms, ranging from mild to severe. Common symptoms include fever, coughing, and shortness of breath or difficulty breathing. Additional symptoms may include chills, repeated shaking with chills, muscle pain, headache, sore throat, new loss of taste or smell, congestion or runny nose, nausea or vomiting, and perhaps diarrhea. This video provides an overview of practices that you as a worker need to understand so that you can apply them during the workday. The first recommendation is do not show up to work if you have symptoms or test positive for COVID-19. Do not go to work if you are showing symptoms of illness. If this is the case, call your supervisor and they will advise you on what steps to take. If you develop symptoms while at work, again, let someone know and self-isolate immediately. Do not handle or harvest produce. The second point includes leaving personal belongings behind. Because COVID-19 may spread through contaminated surfaces, leave all personal belongings, including your cell phone, away from areas where produce is handled. However, if you need your phone, be sure to clean and disinfect it throughout the day. We will discuss methods for disinfection later in this video, but if at all possible, do not use each other's phones. Number 3, practice social distancing when possible. This point is important in regards to understanding those around us. Practice social distancing as soon as you get to work and throughout the day, as best you can. Limit physical contact and interactions of staff with each other. Do not hug or shake coworkers' hands. When possible, remain 6 feet apart from one another. While this is not always possible when harvesting or handling produce, it's important to keep up with personal hygiene. Avoid congregating around the bathrooms or hand-washing stations. For breaks and lunches, for example, social distancing must be practiced. And lunches may be staggered, or employers may provide fewer chairs in break rooms to encourage that social distancing. The fourth point includes washing hands frequently throughout the day using sinks dedicated for hand washing. Hand washing is one of the most important practices to reduce the spread of the virus. Keep in mind that the hand washing sink can be a source of transmission of the virus itself because it is shared among many employees. As a word of caution, even though some farms may not have a dedicated hand washing sink, spitting, rinsing, or drinking water directly from the faucet should definitely be avoided. So how do we wash our hands? Let's start with wetting hands with water and apply enough soap to cover all surfaces. And then rub your hands together with soap, creating a lather. Pay close attention to the backs of your hands, between your fingers, and under your nails where those viruses can harbor. Scrub your hands for at least 20 seconds, and then follow that with rinsing with clean water. Dry thoroughly using a single-use towel, and then use your towel to turn off the faucet. Be sure to throw that towel in a nearby trash can. Wash your hands throughout the day. This frequency includes before starting work, after using the toilet, upon returning to your workstation, after touching animal waste, any other time your hands become contaminated, after blowing your nose, coughing, or sneezing, after assisting others, before putting gloves on, after putting on, touching, or removing a face cloth covering. While hand sanitizer is typically not encouraged at produce farms because it does not replace hand washing, it is effective in inactivating coronavirus. If available, sanitize your hands with an antimicrobial foam or gel after you wash your hands. Number 5, avoid touching eyes, nose, and mouth with unwashed hands. Because COVID-19 is a highly contagious respiratory virus, it is important to avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth with unwashed hands, as this allows the virus to enter the body. Number 6, cover a cough or sneeze with a tissue instead of a hand. Cough or sneeze into your sleeve or cover with your hands and then follow up with hand washing. Use disposable tissues only once and dispose of them in a covered trash can. If you are using a handkerchief, be sure to wash it at the end of the day. And certainly, do not share it, as it could spread the virus. The 7th point includes using gloves and face masks in a sanitary manner. So let's discuss how to safely use gloves and face masks and other personal protective equipment. If the farm provides gloves and requires you to wear them, be sure to wash your hands before putting them on. If gloves are disposable, they must be replaced as needed in order to keep them clean and intact. Gloves do not replace proper hand washing, and if not kept in a sanitary condition, they can provide a false sense of security. Gloves can become contaminated by touching your face or touching a contaminated surface. Never take your gloves to the bathroom. A new pair of gloves must be worn when after using the bathroom or break, when changing tasks, for example, when moving to a new workstation or after handling produce or after cleaning duties. They should also be changed after covering your mouth during sneezing or coughing or blowing your nose or touching your hair. Don't forget, hands must be washed after gloves have been removed. And as frequently as possible, a pair of gloves should not be worn more than 4 hours. Prolonged use of a single pair of gloves can result in excess perspiration or sweat on hands, which provides ideal conditions for bacterial growth on the skin. Gloves are also more likely to leak or tear if worn for extended periods of time. Now, as far as face masks go, your farm may require employees to wear face masks. Even if it's not required, this is an important practice that can be effective in preventing the spread of the virus. On the one hand, you and others around you may not realize you are carrying the virus. Current research shows that the virus can persist in the air for hours. Therefore, the use of a face mask indoors is helpful. The use of masks when you congregate indoors and are in close proximity with others should be strongly considered for the benefit of all. Disposable face masks should be disposed of at the end of each day. Face coverings should cover the nose and below the chin and fit comfortably on the side of the face. They should be secured with ties or ear loops and include multiple layers of fabric and allow for breathing without restriction. The use of a handkerchief or reusable mask can be used, but keep in mind it must be washed daily. They should be washed at the warmest water setting and dried after each day of work. Before putting on or taking off face coverings, employees should wash their hands. Do not share face masks with fellow employees, and if you have trouble breathing with the face mask on, Tell your supervisor. Face shields are another option that may be used. The 8th point includes cleaning and disinfecting high-touch surfaces. When working in a team or with others, you must clean and disinfect surfaces that are shared and touched a lot by other people. Examples of surfaces used during your daily activities could include tractor steering wheels, ladders, hand shears, loppers. It also includes break rooms, door handles, bathrooms, and handrails. Your operation should have a plan in place for frequent cleaning and disinfecting throughout the day. As a best practice, tools and equipment should be cleaned and sanitized before each shift, frequently throughout the day and at the end of the shift. An example of a popular high-touch surface are cell phones. Cell phones can be a popular way to transmit the coronavirus. Think about how coronavirus is actually transmitted from person to person through our saliva or respiratory droplets, and we speak into the phone. So by manufacturer's recommendation, right, you can actually disinfect your phone using wipes, such as Lysol wipes. Just make sure you follow the directions. So for example, for these Lysol wipes, right, allow to remain wet for 4 minutes. So in other words, it might take more than just one wipe to allow that surface to remain wet. But when you're wiping, be sure to get all the cracks and crevices to ensure that you are indeed disinfecting the virus. The 9th point includes avoiding sharing tools or equipment if possible. Do not use other employees' tools or harvesting equipment. If tools are shared, cleaning and disinfecting high-touch surfaces should be practiced. Number 10, communicate with your team members and supervisors. Whether you are attending to the crop, harvesting, or packing fruits and vegetables, you know your job best. Take time to think about the practices we have discussed in this video and how you can apply them in your daily routine. Talk with your supervisor if you know of other ways to protect your health and the health of your fellow employees. If you see something wrong, talk with your supervisor. Let them know how you can improve it. As a reminder, here are 10 recommendations that employees should practice to reduce the risk of COVID-19 on the farm. Take these practices and observe caution even in your own living spaces. Number 1, do not show up to work if you have symptoms or test positive for COVID-19. Number 2, leave personal belongings behind. Number 3, practice social distancing if possible. 4, wash hands frequently throughout the day using sinks dedicated for hand washing. 5, avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth with unwashed hands. 6, cover a cough or sneeze with a tissue instead of a hand. 7, use gloves and face masks in a sanitary manner. 8, clean and disinfect high-touch surfaces. 9, avoid sharing tools or equipment if possible. And finally, 10, communicate with your team members and supervisor. Keeping healthy and preventing the spread of this virus is a team effort. Let's work together in protecting ourselves and each other, especially our vulnerable population, including the elderly and those with underlying health conditions that work on the farm. You play a critical role in providing fresh fruits and vegetables to many families. You are appreciated. Take action and do your part for the good of all.